What's happening, good people? My name is Doug, and this is Thabor Media. Today, we are going to be talking about the biggest thing to hit AI generated music since AI generated music, and that's the thing we knew was always going to happen. It's finally happened. The big record companies have now filed lawsuits against Udo and Suno. We're going to dive into it. I want to touch on the actual record label lawsuits itself. We'll get into the allegations against both Suno and Udio. We'll talk about Suno's defense strategy, Udo's response to defense strategy. We'll have a look at the AI industry legal trends, the potential impact this has on AI in the music industry, and consumer reactions. This past week, the major record labels, which are Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group, jointly filed lawsuits against Suno and Udio for alleging copyright infringement. Lawsuit highlights the growing tension between traditional creative industries and emerging AI technologies. So the question is, what is going on with this record label lawsuit? It was filed in federal courts in Boston and in New York. The lawsuits accuse Suno and Udio of unlawfully using copyrighted sound recordings to train their AI models, which I think we had all speculated that this was happening anyway. I don't know how either one of these got so good without training on just a huge catalog of music that you're going to find on Apple Music, Spotify, any streaming platforms. It has to be coming from huge music catalogs because it's just so good. Right. The legal action, we're looking at every single hit of copyright infringement that they're alleging could reach up to $150,000 per infringed work. That could end up being quite a bit of money. According to the lawsuit, it alleges that Suno and Udio have willfully engaged in copyright infringement almost on an unimaginable scale, again, going back to this, by copying and ingesting vast amounts of copyrighted sound recordings without permission. Evidence presented includes AI-generated songs that closely resemble copyrighted works, such as tracks mimicking Michael Bublé's Sway and songs by artists like Chuck Berry, Green Day, and Mariah Carey. So here's an example you can pull up and see some of the similarities. The top you have Suno's version that was generated. Below you have the original by Chuck Berry. So you can look at this and see the similarities here. Suno's defense, Mike Schulman, the CEO of Suno, has defended the company's practices, stating that their technology is transformative and designed to generate completely new output rather than memorize existing content. He emphasized Suno does not allow prompts referencing specific artists, which this is true. I can vouch for that. I always get the no, we're not doing that. This defense strategy suggests Suno may argue AI-generated music falls under the fair use doctrine, challenging the label's claims of copyright infringement. Similarly, Suno responded to the copyright infringement lawsuit against it. Again, its model learns from music examples to understand basic musical ideas, similar to how students study music. And this is something I've said before too. Since there have been music students and music, people have learned, they learn those songs and then they take what they've learned from those songs and craft their new songs. I know I've certainly done it. Every musician I know has learned this way by listening to other artists, taking what they learn, taking what they like, what they don't like, incorporating it into their own style and moving forward. And I believe that's the defense here that they're using. But here's the thing. This lawsuit will likely take quite a bit of time, and you can see recent trends in AI-related lawsuits with other generative art. The courts end up being skeptical towards these broad claims of copyright infringement. Courts have emphasized the importance of copyright registration and request more detailed technical information from plaintiffs. The fair use argument remains a key point of contention, with AI companies arguing that training on publicly available data falls under this doctrine. And I think this is what both Suno and Udio will lean into: fair use. So what would be the impact or the potential impact on the AI music industry? So it could be devastating for both of these companies if the music industry wins. If they succeed, they could establish a legal precedent going forward that restricts companies from training their models on copyrighted music without licensing. This could arguably stifle innovation in the field. However, the outcome is truly uncertain. One last thing, and then I'll let you go. I want to hear your comments down below. The consumer reactions and trends. the majority of music consumers are in favor of the record industries and the artists. As you can see here, when it comes to AI music creation, 79% of the respondents emphasized the importance of human creativity, and 74% opposed unauthorized cloning or mimicking of artists. So the public is with the artist and the labels right now. However, you can see that consumers are also showing a very high interest in AI generated tracks. So while they may value that human creativity, they're also very open to explore and find out what's next and what's new. I'd like to know your opinions. What do you think? I do believe that AI has to learn somehow, and I don't see a problem with it learning the exact same way that I've learned or any other musician I've ever met has learned, by listening and gaining knowledge and experience from playing and listening and learning what came before and taking that and moving forward. Would it be great if every artist could get compensated somehow? Sure, it would. Absolutely. Is it terrifying that the music is so good? It's so good and it can be generated so quickly? Absolutely. Where does this leave us? Don't know. Still a lot of big question marks here. Love to hear what you think. Thanks for stopping by. My name's been Doug. This has been Thabern Media. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, everybody.